and welcome to Learning to Read Tarot Intuitively Part 2, where I'm going to walk you through the set of swords. But firstly, let me explain. We have the swords represent our thoughts, cups represents our feelings and emotions, and the wands is all about action, and pentacles, they're all about what we gain, the possessions we have, the things we have in our life, and that also includes relationships, because we say I have a partner, I have children, I have family, I have friends. So if you think about it, we start everything that we end up with at the end as a materialistic possession starts with a thought, so the swords come first. We then go to our emotions and ask, how does that make us feel? Is this something that I want, or is this something that I don't want? And the wands is all about, yes, we've decided that that's what we want to achieve. So the wands is where we then start achieving and doing the work that we need to get those things. And of course the pentacles, we end up with those things if everything works out how we hope. So the swords, let's go through the swords. So the Ace of Swords. So the aces are all about the beginnings. It's about the creation of the thought. The idea pops into your head. So it's also, with the swords, is about truth. So it can signify you've had an idea, or you're going to be getting an idea. You're going to have a new thought, or it reveals the truth. Again, intuition will show you. The Two of Swords, so as you can see, the lady sat here blindfolded with two swords. It's when you get to a crossroads where you need to make a decision, and the blindfold, she can take the blindfold off. So it's the person themselves is not making a decision. So there's a decision to make and they're not making the decision. That's your basic around this card. The Three of Swords, I think, looks pretty obvious what the Three of Swords mean. This means heartache, it means heartbreak, but it's, don't forget, these are your thoughts. So your thoughts are creating the heartache. So always remember that, but it does represent sadness. The person is thinking sad thoughts. And the Three of Swords, now here he's lying down. The Four of Swords, here he's lying down, and this is time for rest, recuperation. If someone's going to be feeling ill, this is going to be showing you that they're feeling ill. It could signify that if they've been to hospital, it's a period of recuperation. So it's just time to rest. It could also tell a person you need time to rest. So that's what the Four of Swords is all about, rest. And then the Five of Swords, basic representation is, if you see the man here with the three swords and there's people in the background, swords are on the floor, heads are down. So this is, again, it's thoughts, and it also represents words. So this basic meaning is it's an argument, but generally the person who's won the argument, it was all needless. A lot of the time it's just someone having an argument for the sake of having an argument. It represents arguments and someone got the upper hand. The Six of Swords, so this is showing you that there's a boat across a river, sailing down a river, everything's smooth and calm. And we're looking at mentally again, they've been through a rough period and now things have calmed down. So it would be like, oh, things have been a bit tough, but there's smooth sailing now. And they're normally a little bit unsettled and maybe tired from the rough period they've had. The Seven of Swords, and this is showing deception, or something's been taken from them. And again, it could all be in their mind. Always remember that swords are in the mind, but it could actually represent that there's a thief, or someone's taken something from them, or there is deception. It's an indicator of infidelity, but be very careful when using that one. It really has got to be intuitively. The Eight of Swords, so she's bound and the swords behind her, and again it's very much mentally, this one, and this is where somebody is trapped in their thoughts. So thoughts will be going around and around and around, and it's an indication of you need to break down what thoughts you're going through, and you need to stop all this kind of overthinking. The Nine of Swords, and I think this is quite an obvious one, this is someone who's been kept awake at night because of the thoughts in their heads. So again, it's trying to find the peace in their mind. So we try and help them to sort out what's keeping them awake at night. The Ten of Swords, and the tens generally mean the end of a period. So this person has learnt something about a situation or people or a person, and they're feeling very, very let down. So they didn't expect the situation to end the way it did, and so they're feeling very, very let down. And it normally represents a, well, now you know, situation. So that's how you positively bring somebody up if they're feeling very let down like this. So when we come to the pages and when we come to all of the court cards, they could be representing a person in the person's life. So when we look at the pages, we're looking at teenagers or children in that vicinity of age group. Now the Page of Swords could be representing immature language. So people are speaking immaturely, or it could be representing a person. The Knight of Swords, we're looking here of the ages of around 25 upwards. So it could be representing a person around that age. And again, we've got swords. So if it's a person, it's generally somebody who speaks without thinking, shall we say. They're still quite immature, so they've got a lot of growth to do, a lot of growing up and maturing to do. So they might not realise that what they say is hurtful to others. It also represents thoughts coming in quite quickly. So again, don't forget you're doing swords and it's about the thoughts, and the knights are fast and things happen fast. So it could be a lot of thoughts and their minds are rushing by lots of thoughts. So yeah, it's quite complex when we get to the court cards. But there's some basic meanings. Now the Queen of Swords, we're looking at mature women here. And this kind of mature women, again, with the swords, they're quite harshly spoken. So it could be a harshly spoken woman. It could also represent that you need to think and speak like the Queen of Swords. So it's all about logic and no emotion. So there could be times coming where you need to just purely think logically and not use any emotions. So again, there's a few basic ones, but I think those are important basic ones to realise. The King of Swords, again, it's a mature man, and again, he would speak without emotion, so they can be quite brash with their words, or you need to take a logical approach again to the situation. And there we are for the swords.